I had my question about reshuffling the deck, right, in the previous. And I look in the sequence of play and I find nothing about it, do I? I do not. Over here, where it actually is going to happen, there's no statement of it. It would be an extra word, right? Reshuffle and refresh hand, or something like that. I could see where they don't have room to put it on here, obviously, but it wouldn't. The extra explanation that's in this, and why I prefer having these in the player aids rather than elsewhere. But the game has plenty of player aids, in part to support the bots, and also for 4 players, so that everybody has their own aid. But when I cut through here to what political cards segment, you got to kind of dig to find whether or not you reshuffle. They're then shuffled together to form their respective decks. Now, this is a pretty important thing that, yeah, sure, after a couple turns you get used to the proper flow. But the fact that you have to look this up, that it's not in the sequence of play. I know there's a desire to limit the number of words in a rule book, but it wouldn't actually add to the size of the rule book to put that word in, the word reshuffle, in the sequence of play alone. And there's a habit of that in this rule book, I feel, where I kind of have to hunt for the particular element I'm looking for. Anyway, the first thing we actually do is we pull another one of these. Lysistrata, excellent. So this is going to create an ostracism on both, and a will of the assembly, where the players have to control Chalcidice over here. I don't know if that C is supposed to be pronounced as a... I could tell you if it was in Greek, but I probably couldn't read most of it. But yeah, so we can put both players there if I can find them. And you can see that's going to be kind of interesting. Everybody's got access there right now. Chances are neither one's going to succeed in control. And the penalty is always the same, I think. We got the same advantage and penalty in this one. Let me get the ostracisms in play. All the brain trusts were not made up of great cards, so the people who could hold them, this is actually just this, but I've got this upside down so that I remember to only deal him 6 cards. In general, the people did not really hold them. This guy actually held 2 of his. They're both decent cards. He must have had a nice hand to be willing to do that. And now I do the reshuffle step. Everybody's back to a 7-card hand, 3-card brain trust, with the exception of the Agyad. And they're in the lead. They spent their brain trust. They got the advantage off of it, no question. But now they don't have a brain trust, which means they're stuck with the cards they were dealt. I didn't even look at them. I'm sure that that's going to cause them a more difficult situation in terms of, what ability, what issues, etc. that they want to pick. Factions have picked their issues. Over here for Sparta, got a lot of military, not a huge amount. Some league actions, a games action. Games is not all that impressive. It gains Strategos, which is nice, but it's far better to have that during peace. The thing is, whoever selected it has the games card, and they're like, well, I can get some bonus here. That'll give me potential for getting the government. It's not a bad thing overall. It's just, it doesn't help us in the war, and it doesn't immediately generate lots of honor. But overall, having chits that you have cards for is what you want to do. Same thing in Churchill, really. Over here, also heavy emphasis on the military. A little bit spread out there. League, diplomacy. We got them over here. Both have thrown an oracle into play. And of course there's the ostracism, which is the elephant in the room that if we don't deal with that, that's going to be a problem. And if somebody gets it most of the way, they can push it the rest of the way and guarantee themselves the honor, win, and control of the government. So it's kind of an interesting thing to throw up or to play early if you have a couple of cards for. And of course, the more you're ostracizing each other and doing crap like that, and this was forced, but the more you're doing that, the less capable you are of actually affecting the military situation in the way that you want to. I did remove the Strategos for the war weariness, but I forgot to charge him 1 point because that was turn 1 for still being at war with Persia. And that gets to be a huge burden as the game goes on. You can't be the controlling power and not make peace with Persia. It's just a question of how long it takes you to get around to it. Even before I placed the issues on the board was a good move. Because what it meant is I got to run this out and do the debates rather than, you know, having stacks of pieces on the board and not remembering what the hell I'm trying to do. Not remembering what you're doing with the debates is kind of, that's an acceptable penalty, eh? I have the information I had. Neither player played their king. That includes this guy. He had the advantage, presumably, because he has his brain trust. So he was able to keep the ostracism. So they're going to win the bonus there. I did find out the answer with the Strategos. It was a little hard to find. It's in one place in the rules, of course. Minimize rule book, whatever. I understand trying to keep things small, not repeating things, but it wasn't in the easiest place to find because of it. It turned out, I always have trouble finding things, and it turned out it was not in the debate section nor at all, but in this card values and attributes, which makes sense. It's just, you know, it's not the place I looked, right? And that means we're going to have the king cards available to grab the Strategos, but first we have to assign things. I haven't done the Athenians yet, so I'm going to do them before I calculate out any changes there. And on the other hand, both played hard for the ostracism, throwing their brain trusts in. It ended up over in the aristocrats who are going to take control again. That means we're going to get less Strategos. We did manage to pull everything out of the pile, at least. Also, I think less issues. We have 4, well, ostracism doesn't count, so we have 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6 over on the Spartan side. And the Spartans both have their kings, so they're going to eat up all 5 of their Strategos. That's going to put them in a stronger position going into the theater phase. One interesting thing about the Strategos allocation, if you play cards that don't have the bonus, you don't get the Strategos, which means only if you play people who have the capability of debating a particular issue. Now, the higher Strategos faction and factors generally go along with the military cards, which makes sense. So if you're bringing up a lot of military issues, you're going to get a lot of Strategos comparatively. But remember, they're also useful in the league and some of the other operations as well, where you have to spend Strategos to get something coming from it. You have to spend some of your military, political, whatever, might. Not pure political, but the geopolitical for the era, in order to affect that cause. And it kind of makes sense, which is to say, if you've got people up there who aren't particularly interested in that issue and you're debating that issue with them, you're not going to generate as much capability for those external goals that you're creating. Now, what's really interesting, though, is that the idea if there's a lively debate about something, you might actually come up with better solutions than if there's not. And that's reflected by both factions having a bigger pile of Strategos as a whole. It's not really a big deal, but it does kind of impress me when I see little things like that. Let's look over here. We've got I got to make sure that I did it right, because when an individual issue is won, the controlling faction gets the odd extra strategos, but I believe when this card is played, the winning faction, the commanding faction, gets their full pick first. I may be mistaken on that, though. Just make sure that's right. Yes. Okay. The mistake of having the games, of putting the games counter out and playing for that in a wartime situation, that's unimportant. I guess it could make some difference, but by the time it got resolved, there were no strategos available. I was thinking, oh, extra strategos and extra votes here, but with ostracism in play, it was a useless play. I'm gonna get my rumors out, and I don't think anybody owes anybody any counters. What that means is there wasn't a difference in the number of counters are out. And what's kind of interesting here is the Spartans have taken the lead with both their factions, which means they're going to have to play 2 counters before Athens plays any. Of course, I get to lay my counters down first, so I probably can set it up so that I don't have to do that and I can delay some. On the other hand, maybe there's an advantage to playing things out quickly. I'm not sure. I can get myself established here early or something. No, that's not. I can get myself the last blow there, which is definitely of some interest. If I can keep Strategos counters long enough to actually do anything. That's one of the problems I have in playing this, is there's a lot of stuff where, because the timing reverses or something, it just screws with my brain, and it's very hard for me to hold off and not use my pieces for something that's important, that I see as important. Hoarding your pieces till the last play or whatever can be important. Of course, that doesn't do you damn bit of good if you can't remember what your last counter is. So I've got myself screwing up again. I don't have a league marker to put in the Eastern Mediterranean. I think I used it somewhere. No, I didn't manage to generate one. Oops. And there's no other way for me to get a base down here, which means we're going to pay the penalty again for the war with Persia. That's just going to keep happening until, and that's going to set to be the controlling faction. Is it late? I can perhaps get away with it down here in the Mediterranean. Maybe cover that with a rumor or something. Which, I mean, I have a diplomacy counter. Now, right now, this is friendly controlled, which cannot get me a base, but if I can get this fleet out of here, I can conceivably get a base there, maybe, kind of, sort of. Gotta be careful, though, because Sparta is up to something over here, and if I'm not careful, they might be able to challenge the Hellespont, and I don't have control of Sicily. And how is it I lose the game? Yeah. Because it's much easier if Athens begins the turn without a base in a granary and still does not have one during the end phase. Well, right now I have a base here. They would have to destroy that base. That's harder than just taking control away from me. The chips have been laid down. There's a couple of interesting ones available to Sparta. See what's going on at the Hellespont. I don't know. Yeah, that was my call. Excellent. Okay, so what's interesting about this is I'm diplomacy to try to get rid of this base. Now, with him not getting out of here, I may not want to do this first thing, but if I can get this base, I'm throwing a threat. You know what? I don't want to play this piece, because I'm the guy who played it. I know what's there. So instead I play this rumors, which goes away. I don't know what the hell's going on. Who's next? He's next. Well, he has to play this, and that's the problem, is that we had 2 in a row. So I'm not going to get anything cleared, and that means the diplomacy is in play here. Now, what happens with that diplomacy? Well, it's an enemy-controlled theater. I can put up to 3 strategos. If I can make that, plus friendly treachery, I remove the treachery. Otherwise, I get treachery equal to the strategos, which means I can set things up for another turn. I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 3 strategos to drop some treachery markers on the board in the Hellespont. It's really setting it up for later. I wasn't going to gain anything. If I had another diplomacy in there, maybe I could have taken it. But I didn't have enough points to take it out. But now I'm putting a real diplomatic threat there. And that means that Athens has to do something about it. Now we go to the Athenian players, and I don't know what we want to do. This guy does not want to play over here. He has a cover on there for a reason. I think we want to play for here. So we flip this up. We get a military of our own. We can do a repositioning with that military, which sounds like a good idea. We can't sail through here. We're kind of divided in, well, we could sail this way. So yeah, we could sail that way. Okay. This is a ground area though, and that's something of a problem for us. Because we're Athens and we're not good at this. We don't want to give this up. This doesn't look all that important to me. So let's see, 1. I don't want to lose the base. I'm outnumbered pretty heavily, so there is a danger to losing either of those bases. I count 2. Probably throw a naval in there as well. So okay, we'll spend 3 strategos, and we will bring what? This base can't fall easily, so I can get out of there. And I bring that around this way, grab this, and this navy might as well go all the way up. I could stop somewhere along the way. Oh, I've got more navies I could bring. Do they really help me? No, it's not worth spending strategos on them. And now, I should be flipping these over because I will forget. Unfortunately, they're the same on both sides, but there's the indentation. Oh, not quite. They say order on one side and not on the other. Now for the demagogues. Let's see what's going on here. We picked that. That's a military for us. Well, we can win the naval battle without much trouble. But what about the land battle? We're a little screwed on that. It's not terrible. We can pull troops out of there. Yeah, okay. We're going to spend 2 strategos. I have trouble with the thinking in this game. We'll put this here for the naval battle. We'll move this here for the land battle. And now we have 2-to-1 against him. Oh, shit. Let's get those strategos. He's not playing any. I don't know if the Spartans. Orange has what? A league. Yeah, we kind of want to play this. Supposedly we know what's there, but I don't. I think I'm allowed to play up to 4. So I'll do that, right? How important is this to me? I'm the leadership. It's not that important. But I spent the league thing. What happens if I fail? I have to still be there for that counter to count. I don't want to waste my counter. Yeah, I'll spend my 4. Okay. And I don't know what he spent. and the other players are uninterested. So first the naval battle. Well, the naval battle is at 2, 3, 4 to 4. That's it. Okay. So 8 to 6. That'll be a victory for the Athenians. Nothing's killed. So now we go to the land battle. Do we want it? It's 4 to 5. Yes, I do, because I want to wipe that out. I guess that's why I'm there. I don't know. I'm there to actually protect my route, and it's going to be really hard to get knocked out of there. So I'm going to say on a 1 or 2, I'll fight the land battle. I do not want to fight the land battle, which is something maybe Sparta should have had in mind. But from their point of view, they're like, oh, my peace is threatened here. I've got to get out of there. On the other hand, Athens is just trying to cover their route to Sicily for another turn. Okay, where were we? That was him. So now we're back around, and Sparta. Start the war or no? I don't see much value to that. We'll flip this one over. Wait, somebody else's shit. They get the league marker. We didn't know what they were up to there, I guess. I can spend 4 Strategos and build a base. Sounds good. I build a base and get 2 more honor. Now, technically, that increases the number of bases as well. Useful if I can keep track of those. That was him. Now we're over here. He doesn't have any option. He has to flip this. What is it? I don't know. It's a military. And it's my military. I don't have a whole hell of a lot. He's kind of like, I don't know if I want to support this shit. I don't know what the next shit is. I do know that I need 4 for a league action if I'm doing this. I don't know if I got the league action. I don't know if my buddy got it. This is the problem, but he has to spend at least 1. So he's going to spend 4 on the military action. I'll throw 1 in. I don't remember what I put in there, so I got no idea. I'm not going to help him. But secretly, these guys are like, well, if we can defeat him in battle, we win the fight. Let's throw 2 and 3. Okay. So, that's 5 to 4. He gets to move up to 4 units in. Well, here's a free one. Can I get it there? If I can, I got problems. I can. So I get up there with the free one. I got 4 more. I can't control it unless I have some navies. I don't think I have a way of getting navies up there at this moment. Well, I can control it without navies. I'm not likely to win the battle. Yeah. I could leave here. No, I don't. Yeah, I think I can leave here via this. Let's see. Dark blue line is controlled by land units, so I could leave that. But then that exposes this. There's no chit there right now, so this would be okay, but I don't have a navy I can get up there. And that's where my problem is. I'm not good at fighting ground wars. I've got to keep this piece here because of some of the chits I have in that pile. I can't slip through Athens. It ain't that easy. I could get here I'd be in danger of stopping, and then I'm on the wrong side of Greece. So that's not going to help me. Yeah, so I don't think I can get navies anywhere. So let's get, let's see, I've got 4 I can move. But 2, we can get these up to 3, 4. And we'll make sure that the Athenians don't get in there. All right. Land battle first, because it's a land area. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make it 9, 13 to 7. 18 to 12. So there's a 6-point differential. Okay, 6-point differential means I can kill 6 things. I can kill both of those land units very easily. However, I take land combat losses. It's 2 of these. They can kill a yellow. So these 2 die, a yellow dies. Why not to bring your crap with you? We have some honor from this. I think we just get twice the number of enemy units and bases destroyed. That's going to be 4 points. Who did this fight? This fight is Orangey's fight. Shouldn't have helped him. Well, I get 2. That's not bad. And the oppositions lose equal to the number of friendly units and bases eliminated. They each lose 2. Can't go negative. You disappear. Now I've got one other thing I've got to worry about here, which is the bottom of the barrel. No, it's something like that. Every set of 2 land units, 1 is permanently removed from play. Enemy choice. Well, we'll kill an Athenian, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make much difference. I'm assuming we're going to wipe out most of the units, and there I am firing this off the back of my shoulder. Now I have the option to fight a naval battle. I would be at -3 on a naval battle. I could get lucky. I don't know how I'm going to get my navy up there otherwise. I can't lose anything if I do. So let's do it. Okay. Well, that's not going to work. And okay. Who was this? I think this was this guy. I don't remember. Fuck me. Yeah, I don't remember whether or not I flipped this. Whether or not I should have flipped this. I get the feeling that there were 2 already. I can't remember. Very easy to forget where the fuck you are, because it's not like this gives you any mnemonic on it. Oh well. Well, I honestly don't fucking know. I think the base was built first. I think that's how it went. So that puts us on an Athenian. He wants to play over here because he wants to delay that as much as possible for some reason. That's rumors. The other Athenian, no choice. It's another rumors. Now we're back around. Where does he want to play? Here or here? I don't fucking know. I don't remember what's in these stacks, and I never will. It's almost like a random thing. It bothers me because I should know, right? You know, I used to play bridge, man. How come I'm having trouble with this? Well, in my defense, it's been many, many years. And also, playing the multiplayer, but I would have real trouble remembering these things. I'm not good at remembering shit. And I would view it as cheating to write these things down, honestly. Maybe because of my weakness, but I'm going to go for this. And I get a league action from Orange. Well, Orange is screwed because they forgot they played that. But this happened to be all the time. If league base, nope. Yep, just fucked up. Excellent. Okay, the plan there was to build a base. It didn't happen. And that was this guy, which means we've got to do this one. This one's roamers. And you can see it's almost, it's almost ridiculous how bad my memory is and what the effect is. But I don't know if it's terrible in terms of the results it produces. I just feel like I'm bumbling around doing nothing. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. It's a military action for him. Well, what can I do with that shit? I could spend a Strategos to cancel the issue. That sounds like a bad deal. It's not a friendly city-state space. It is not a controlled or neutral theater. It is a contested theater. I could do a raid for 3 Strategos. That's actually a really good deal. It drains the other guy's power. Unfortunately, the controlling player is out of Strategos. Do I know that? I don't know. If I was as bad at remembering that as I am with this, it would be a real problem. Luckily for me, I've got them all face up, so it's not a problem. Or I can do the military expedition. Who the hell is this? This has to be this guy. I don't have a lot of Strategos left. I don't know what... Oh, no, it's this guy. I don't have a whole lot of Strategos left. My army seems to have disintegrated in the time being. Raid's worth 3 honor, but it's 3 of my Strategos. I don't want to cancel, so I'm going to play this out for military. No, I can't win a fucking land battle. Yeah, we'll just raid. He has no Strategos, so he has none to lose. And this was these guys, 1, 2, 3. Not an effective use for the military, but it might work out just fine because this is really important and we're falling behind pretty badly. Of course, 0 is a nice little plateau I can land on. There are no more Spartans, so these 2 fire off. We get over there. I'm okay playing this, and I feel like it's vital that I get it out of the way before I lose. As the leader, I could get raided. This is my diplomacy. It is a neutral theater. I secretly control up to 5 Strategos. I have to get twice what the enemy gets in order to do this. Well, I'm going to play 4 secretly. The enemy controlling player has none. Do I know that? I don't know. And we reveal battle cards. Sparta's at 2. I'm at 6. I win. So I get a base here. And that's important because now I can have peace with Persia, I think. I don't gain anything for this base. No honor or anything like that. That sucks. And that was him. That puts it on him. Oh, what do we do? We have almost nothing left. Let's flip this up. This is just a roamers. And that puts us back to Sparta. They have only 1. It's just a roamers. Here. This guy can't go. Athens. It's roamers. Great. Can't go. First Sparta honor. It's rumors. There's something going on. Has to pass over here. It's a league action. Okay, what can I do with a league action in a contested space? I could expend Strategos. I don't have them. If there's a league base, there's not. I could remove a friendly or enemy treachery. It is a wasted piece. You will often see me wasting pieces. I got better at it in playing opposed, where I kind of could remember what the hell I'm up to. And now we fling around the table until we get to the last play, which is another military. Well, I don't have a navy. I know that I have the edge in Strategos, though. So I am going to I can either raid, which would get me some honor, good thing, or I can do a military expedition, and I'm going to do the military expedition. I can commit up to 5. 4 of them is worth an honor. I think this is important. We each get 5 honor. See, here's the thing. I feel like we've got the edge. If I spend 3 of these on a raid, I get 3 honor over here. Boom. If I do this and win this, we each get 5 honor. And I'm running pretty close to the Euripides. And I don't feel like we're that far from beating Athens, and I'm a little scared of that. So maybe pulling away from him is better. On the other hand, that's worth an honor. I'll play 2 of these, hope for the best. And the defense, we'll play 1. Okay. 2 of these means I can move up to 2 more military units into play. Obviously, I can fling more forces in, but that doesn't help me particularly. What does help me is possibly sailing these somewhere. I could pick on this. I don't know if this is good or bad, but at least I moved them. I got something of value out of it, I think. I don't know. And then over here, I can always pull them back or something. Our land battle, we're huge on it. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1. We still have to do it. Okay. So that's a victory, but nothing's gained. Now the naval battle. 2 to 3. 6 to 7. We lose the naval battle. Nothing is really lost on it, though. Which seems a little weird, but like it seems weird that, well, actually we couldn't kill anything because we don't have any units, so the naval battle is just kind of a waste of effort, to tell you the truth. The reason that you do the naval battles is you might do a land or naval battle to be able to slip in and get the other kind of battle. But this, I couldn't kill anything if I had succeeded, which I would have realized, I hope, at the time. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to move these. These both move to neutral. Okay, they don't have a lot of effect. Forgot that fucker again. I'll never remember it. Okay, just so much going on, and at this point, I think we're at the end of the game. End of the game turn. What we're going to do is take advantage of this. We eliminate one of these and an Athenian naval unit anywhere in the game. Let's get rid of this one. It's not permanently destroyed. I don't think. I don't hope. This is in play here. That means this is no longer available. The Greeks can't go there. But, and that is it. There's no penalty this turn. Otherwise, we'd be taking a loss. And then we go to the maintenance segment and the redeployment and all that. And now, hit record at the wrong time, and now we make it to turn 3. These Strategos remain out of play. He gets an honor. I forgot to give him one. Everybody lost 5 because nobody succeeded in the Chaldese, which means pretty soon the Athenians can say screw it to any of those requirements, because quite simply they don't care if they're down at 0. Of course, that's not a way to win the game. You can see the forces have redeployed a little bit. We've got both there. A threat here, but it's not much of one. But the Athenians moved some forces into play. Yeah. We'll see how it all plays out. This is a really tough game for me, because one thing is there's the confusion of the map to try to understand and process, and I find that tough with CDGs with their point-to-point movement. I find it really tough with this because it's got this choke point at Athens. It's just hard to. It makes sense once you start to internalize it, but it's hard to do so. And then there's just the chaos of, Jesus, I got no fucking idea what I'm actually doing when I play my chits down. But like Herman's other Peloponnesian War, that had a lot of randomness going on in it, where you, especially in the solitaire game, where you get flipped from one side to the other. So, there may be something kind of unsatisfying about this idea of you don't feel like you're building up and preparing. But in a way, it's capturing something which is sort of the futility of this whole war. At least if you can't, remember what your goals are and what your actual plans are that you put down. It's disturbing to me. That doesn't feel appropriate, and it feels like a flaw in me, as opposed to with the game itself. It's a game that the flaws in me make it so that I can't play it properly, essentially. But it may come out with reasonable results, even with my chaos. What wouldn't come out with reasonable results is me playing with someone who knows what they're doing in terms of being able to remember what their plans are and everything. That would be terrible. That would be truly terrible. The one time that I played, there was basically one person who knew what he was doing. He was my ally. I think we were Athens, and I was able to be in a close second. But I had no fucking clue what we were doing for the first half of the game. Then again, neither did the other 2 players. Right now, all 4 players don't know what they're doing.